I want to greet all partners, Up2u European partners. My name is Panayota Kotarini, and I've been teaching mathematics for 34 years. But now I am a teacher coordinator. I belong to a community of practice that want to find and to implement innovative practices. Let me introduce all the members of this community of practice. Maria, we begin from you.
My name is Maria Pliakou. I'm teacher of chemistry at the Art School of Gerakas in Athens.
And then Sotiri.
Hello. I'm Sotiris Syriopoulos. I'm a mathematics teacher at the second term of Brilicia in Athens.
Irini.
Hello, I am Irini Kouletsi. I am the third mathematics teacher in row in our community of practice, and my school is Varvakio Model Junior High School.
Vicky.
Hello from Athens, Greece. My name is Vicky Florou. I'm the English teacher in this group. I've been teaching English for more than 20 years. Currently, I'm working at an art school with my colleague Maria that talked to you earlier. And I'll be speaking to you later about two courses that we created for secondary school students. And we created and implemented them on the Up2u platform.
But before this presentation, let us, Irini, let us show to us the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation.
With my great pleasure. So I have undertaken to present to you some general elements regarding this project, which we take part. So during the school year 2018 to 2019, an interdisciplinary project regarding the construction of the Tunnel of Samos by Efpalinos was implemented with students of 3 different high schools in Athens. The Up2u platform that we used offered tools for the integration of varied disciplinary areas of the curriculum, such as geometry, science, English as a foreign language, ancient Greek language, and history. The 3 schools, in each school, the teaching procedures were modified accordingly to fit the needs of different age groups and the specific characteristics of each school, the subjects taught by other teachers from the above-mentioned schools that participated in the project. Each school had prepared its own course, but we all had access to all 3 courses so as to be able to make use of material already created by the other 2 schools. Through the exploitation of new Up2u practices and tools, we aimed to provide students with motives for personal involvement and engagement in the learning of mathematical content from geometry and to enhance their participation in the learning process. So, we move on to the objectives related to each subject matter. So, regarding the subject of mathematics, some of the objects were the following: the exposure of the students to the cultural dimension of mathematics and the use of prior knowledge of mathematical concepts such as similar triangles and Pythagorean theorem in real-life situations. Some of the learning objectives concerning the subject of English as a foreign language were the following: acquisition of lexical items and collocations related to geometry and technology via specific authentic audiovisual material, and the improvement of listening and speaking skills based on concepts related to geometry. Look, one of the learning objectives regarded the subject of chemistry was the exposure of the students to the notion of solubility of salts and the problems that salts may cause, such as soil erosion. Now, we move on to learning objectives in the subjects of ancient Greek language and history. Some of them were acquaintance with the historical and cultural context of the era when the Tunnel of Samos was excavated, linking knowledge, principles, and attitudes as portrayed and projected by ancient Greek texts to contemporary life in order to highlight the timeless values of these texts. The problem related to mathematics was the following. A mountain stands between the town of Samos and the fountain that served as its water supplies. The two questions that the students had to cope with were the following. How could the two teams of people meet underground while working at the same elevation simultaneously on the excavation of a tunnel from both opposite ends, A and B of the mountain? And the second question was, how can we calculate the length AB? Now, I'm going to present some general information regarding the use of the Up2u tools that we used. So we found on Caltech a video that was referring to the tunnel of Samos and the mathematics project. This video we handed on to Streamable, and we added Greek subtitles because it was in the English language. We moved on to the use of the digital tool H5P, which we used interactive videos and games made with this tool. The digital tool CellCont was used to project pre-recorded lectures with slides related to the historical context of the excavation, the historical sources available about the tunnel, the mathematics and the mathematicians of the specific time period, and the problems caused to the construction materials by the chemical elements found in the water. Another tool that we used was a Padlet, a Web2 tool, which was incorporated for students to write on their impressions regarding this project. The digital tool NockPlop multi-party meeting was used for the students to work online in teams so as to resolve the problems handed out to them by the educators, either during classwork on site or via the recorded lectures presentations. In conclusions, some of the conclusions of this project were the following. The students' active involvement in this interdisciplinary framework helped them to conceive knowledge from both mathematics and other disciplines in a meaningful context, made them realize that mathematics is a cultural and social construction, a component of our world, and offered students motivation for personal involvement in the instruction of mathematical content from geometry and reinforced their participation in the learning process. There were some other teachers who also contributed with teaching material. Sandy Kurkulea from Varvakio Model Junior High School and Mrs. Maria Tiligada and Harisi from Second Lyceum of Relisia. Now we move on to Vicky.
Vicky will present all the projects.
Okay, so I am now going to share my screen with you. And I think it's still your presentation, Irene. You have to stop sharing.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I have, Vicky, I have stopped sharing.
Let's see. So I'll have to stop it here as well. Maybe that's why. And let me see if I can show you now. I know it's the same thing. So,
let's see.
Okay, wait. Okay, it's done now. Okay. So here is, as I said earlier, I'm going to take you on a tour now. So we will go navigate a little bit around two courses on the platform which we created. The first one is about the same project that my colleague spoke earlier. That's called Efpalinos at school. And this was created at the Art School of Geracas. And this is an interdisciplinary course based on mathematics, geometry in this case, and English basically. So all of this is in English, and actually in this case there were no subtitles in Greek. So the way this is structured, first of all, it is structured in different units. So in the beginning, the students have the title of the unit, and then what they first see is two dictionaries, online dictionaries, which they can use in order to find the meaning of specific lexical items that follow. I have selected items to give them because they are going to need them to understand the videos. So they have to do some vocabulary work here, which has to do with English. I'm not going to go into details with this. I'm just going to present the units first of all, and the innovation in each case. For example, here after they work with words, then they have to watch the video, and this is the original form of the video. However, in the next case, where we have an H5P video, this is the same video, but we have included interactive activities by using this H5P tool. So I'd like to show you a little bit of this. So the video, okay, is loaded now. And what happens in this case is that once the students start playing the video. So I'll just show you a little bit of this. I'm not sure that you can hear the sound, but it's okay for now. So what happens is that once the video reaches these little dots that you can see here, then there is something that pops up, and it's a question. In this case, it's a vocabulary exercise for them to improve their English. So they have to check, they have to write here the words that they just heard, and then they can check the meaning. If it's right or if it's wrong, they can watch it again. And once they finish with this, then the video continues and moves on to the next bullet, which will be another form of exercise. It may take some time now because I'm trying to do it faster. Okay, so maybe I just have to be more patient and make it wait a little. Okay, so this is the second type of exercise that they can have. So in this case, they read something that they heard, and then they choose one of the options. I'll just show you, for example, that I choose this one, and then if I check, I can see that this is wrong. So here I have the option to see the solution, or I can play it again. And then, of course, I have the option to continue. So this means that this is an interactive tool, which also gives feedback at the same time. So it's quite useful. And here's another type of pop-up exercise. It says choose a correct option, so they may click on it, and then again there is something for them to choose. So if I choose here, then okay, this is wrong again. Or if I can retry. So then if I choose the correct one, this is what it shows me. And that's how it goes on. Okay, so I think you got an idea of this. And then let me take you back. So the quest for water was the first unit, then the second unit, bringing water to Samos. Basically, it works in the same, the structure is the same, it works in the same way. So again, vocabulary work first, the video, the H5P video, again, the interactive video. In the third unit, excavating the tunnel of Samos, same procedure. In this case, we have an addition of another H5P activity. So with this tool, it's not just that we create interactive videos, we can also create several types of exercises. This is called food for thought. And here what happens is that the students have to consider the restrictions of the time that the video shows, and they have to work with some vocabulary. It is organized in cards, flashcards. So I'll show you a little bit of this. So what happens is that each side of the flashcard has the word and then its meaning. So one side is the word or the phrase, the other side is the meaning. So what the students do is that they have to remember modern drilling what. If they don't remember, they need to turn, and then they can say equipment, so it's modern day equipment. So like this, they go on. Here you can have as many cards as needed for vocabulary acquisition. And for example, magnetic compasses. I have just topographic maps. I have just used 5 here because these were important, and written mathematics. They can retry, of course, if they want, as with everything else. And let me go back. So the next unit is the review of prerequisites. And here the first activity is called similarity, mathematics term. But here there is a lecture which is in Greek because the mathematics teacher was speaking in Greek, but the slides are in English to help the students understand more about triangles. And they also have specific questions to answer based on their understanding regarding the word side and angle and edge, or about how we use shapes, 3-dimensional objects and solids. And there is an inaccuracy in the way the mathematician explains something, so they have to locate this. This was done on purpose, of course. So I'll show you a little bit of this. It opens in a different window, so let me simply enlarge this. So here is this tool. You can see our mathematics teacher, and I will play this a little bit. I'm not sure that I can share the sound now, but here, once she starts talking, then the slides also move together with what she says. So the innovation of the tool here is that the student can go back and watch it again, and every time they have some problem remembering something, they can go straight to the slide that explains what they want to learn or to remember, or something they did not understand well. For example, they can choose this slide that I'm showing you now. And while this is shown, this is projected, the speaker also says something related to that. So it is a very well synchronized way to present information through the video, but also the slides. So maybe something like this again. Or this one. So this is also very good because the students get to learn terminology from geometry in English. At the same time, they have the speaker explaining to them what it is. But here on the slide, they also see a lot of other information, which is very helpful for them. So I'm going back here to our site. And the next part now is the short video, which they have to to watch. And based on their understanding, they will need to do some homework as it is found in the next activity. So the video here is called Review of Prerequisites, and there is this is the part of mathematics that they need in order to understand the problem. Now this depends on the teacher in each case and on what the teacher wants to do first. So it was used in a different way in the 3 schools, basically because we had also different kinds of collaboration. So in this case, with the English language as well, it was handled in a different way. So this means that everybody has the flexibility to use the videos the way they want. So based on this understanding then, the students were given homework in mathematics. And here is their mathematics homework. Let me open this, just a little slide. Okay, the line is also slow, but it's also slow in processing in this case. Okay, but we can do it. So basically, this is what the students had to see, and this is mathematics work. Of course, there are some questions that they had to answer based on this specific listening. So about similarity in triangles and so on. And that's all we want from this. And now the next part, the next unit is called the mathematics of the excavation. Here is the video again in the original form, and this is work that they had to do in order to find the solution to the problem. Then here they had to solve the problem. They had to think about how to solve the problem and then to join the discussion following in this activity to work with their classmates. So the problem is posed through this slide. I hope this one opens faster than the previous Word document. Okay, so here there is this question. This is given in Greek on purpose because we wanted to make sure that they could understand the question. So I'm closing this again.
Can you show to us the problem, the Efpalinos problem, and
this one you mean?
It's the previous video where we can find the solution of the problem.
Okay, yes, I'm going back to this, to the mathematics of the excavation.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure whether you can hear the sound. That's the problem. Can you hear the sound? Or maybe if you can, yes? So this one you mean?
They only...
you mean this one? Okay.
The sound. And they have to explain what they see.
Yes. So that's why, so now you cannot hear the sound, I guess, so it will be okay. Because they don't need the sound in this case.
And students have to see all the solution and to understand the solution and to write it and to explain what they see and the mathematics that they use, the mathematics of the solution. Okay.
So it has to be silent on purpose so that they can, by watching but not listening to anything, they have to work out all these questions that our mathematics teacher just said. Okay.
Okay.
Is this enough of the video? Okay then. Right, so let me go back then. And here is another interesting tool. This is the place where the students can meet and actually can discuss live with their classmates. So I'll try to show you this one now. That's the multi-party meeting. It automatically redirects. And here you simply join. And of course, now you can only see me because it's me only in the room, but there can be more people in the room. Here it shows how many people are participating and they can discuss. It's like every other virtual room. There are some features here like who is, here there's a chat. It's written in Greek in this case, but it doesn't matter. Here there's a share, participants, and so on.
Because students had to work in teams and they can collaborate.
So this is a very good way for them to work together to collaborate. And when they finish, they click on this to exit the multi-party meeting. And then I have to go back.
I think this is a very good tool if you want to divide them in subgroups as well. So you can allocate different rooms to the students.
Yes, that's true. And that's how they can work in different groups. Okay, so done with mathematics and English, of course. And here we have some more information, which now comes from science. So it is about the tunnel of Samos again, but it comes from science. And again, it's a lecture in Greek by our chemistry teacher, but the slides are in English. And of course, they have enough information from chemistry in this case. I'll show you a little bit of this now. It's the cell count tool again. And here again, the video plays. They can hear.
When the teacher cannot be at the same time in the classroom, we can use cell count to do an interdisciplinary teaching. It was very useful for us because it's very difficult for two or three teachers to be at the same time in the room. So we use it like this.
Which means in an interdisciplinary course like this, even though you may not have the physical presence of a teacher of another subject, you may include this in your course by using the cell count tool and by having the pre-recorded video with the slides, which are very well synchronized. So, okay, in our case, we could be available, but not always, of course. And now that the course is ready and is on the platform, if I want to use it again, for example, in my teaching classes, I already have my colleagues from mathematics and chemistry to give the information through these videos, and it's very helpful. Okay, and of course there is a follow-up. The follow-up has to do with the Padlet that we showed earlier. There is a questionnaire. The questionnaire in this case was in Greek because we had students from various classes, and some of them had some more problems understanding English, so we had to make sure that they could understand everything. So here it is, Google Forms used for this. Oh, sorry, and I'll go back again. The last part comes from history, but because it's all in Greek, we don't need to see anything more from this now, but it comes from history, and they can find more historical information in this case about each one of the things that we mentioned earlier and about the tunnel of Samos.
And it was another school. It was the school of Relisia school that gave us all this
material.
Yes, the historical information. Yes, that's true. So that was the tour of the first course of the two that I told you about. So I'm going back to my courses, and I'll also show you the second one. This is called American Literature 1, and that's created, it's again interdisciplinary, but basically this is English and literature now. So it's teaching the language through literature. It is based on a very well-known book, Beloved, by Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison also got a Nobel Prize for Literature for this book. So in this course, the way it is structured, it's very similar, but they have first of all the meeting room up here. It's the same like I showed you earlier. So they have the meeting room and they can always meet here if they want. They have the two dictionaries again right on top here at the top of the page, so they can easily find them all the time. In this case, and because this is a language course, there are more questions and problems, and there are features like forum and chatting. So here, for example, is a place where they can write any problems they're facing. So this is the general forum. And then it's in units again. The first unit gives information about the author. And then the next part, and that's another feature I'd like to show you about H5P and how it is used. We can use it to create timelines. This is a powerful tool because it has lots of different uses. So this is an example of creating a timeline. And timeline is easy to use because they can see the information here. They can click on each one if they want, but they can also click on the arrows, and they are given some information about the book, when it was published, some more about it, and so they can see the most important information included in the course based on what I wanted them to learn. Okay, I'm going back. So then there is a video, like we said before in the previous course, questions about the video. They have the option here to answer the questions, and they will find the questions here, as you can see, but then they have to answer the questions on a Word document, save them on their PCs or any other device they may have, and then upload them here for the teacher to see and grade. There is an answer key which is hidden from students, of course, but it's just for convenience purposes. There is another video. That's the kind of interactive video like the one we saw earlier. So this is again with H5P. And it automatically starts. As I said earlier, when it starts playing, it will stop at points where there is a question for them to answer. Okay, so here is word filling to do, sorry, and they can check. So here they may write the word, for example. And if it's correct, it goes like this, and then they can continue. I don't know if it can go a little bit faster. So here's the next one. Okay, so similar type of exercise. And let's see if you can see the next one. Okay, and here. And this type of exercise again, where they have to choose the one that they believe is correct. They have the option to hear the word also. And this is very interesting, an interesting feature in language learning. And so that's how it goes. So then I'm going on. There are several things one can do. For example, uploading here. I have uploaded the front and the back covers of the book because I wanted them to predict certain things. There is this discussion tool where they can discuss, it's like chatting. Here is like a form, they can predict the plot and they can write a short response to this task. Summary of the plot of the book, again, it's the simple video, and they have to simply answer these 2 questions by writing in short answers with this one. And then the platform also allows me to upload full pages of the book because I only want them to read specific pages. It's not possible for them to read everything, but it's very interesting because I can upload the page, just take a picture of it and upload it, and then I can add vocabulary work here. These are words that come from the text. They have to look them up in the dictionary, which is at the top of the page as I showed earlier. So I'll see if it opens quickly, simply to show you the way it is. It's a simple vocabulary exercise for students, like
Vicky,
it is showing the previous one, I know, but because it's still open.
Students, Vicky, have access to the platform.
The students, I didn't hear your question, sorry.
Do they have access in the platform?
Yes, they do. They have access to the platform. That's how they can also upload their work. So what I had for them here, this exercise, for example, I don't need to enable editing now. I think everybody understands. So this is a vocabulary exercise. They save it on their computer, and then what they have to do is upload it. So they do have access, and they have their own passwords. It's very simple, especially if somebody has a Gmail. With a Gmail, you can easily do this, log in very easily. And of course, they have to submit their work. And then I see the participants here. I see how many have submitted. In this case, 3 people so far have submitted. And I can also grade their submissions. So that's how it works with all submissions. It's like assignments that they have to do, and there is some work for them to upload. Okay.
Did you find any other tools in the platform, Vicky?
I'll show you the tools right afterwards. Okay. So I think here, for example, that's a chat again, and in this one, this is in progress. This is something that is going on. It hasn't finished, so this is a course in progress. Vocabulary cards, which I have included in this one. I think this, now in this case, I have included more complex vocabulary cards. So I have a link to this Quizlet tool because this is much more playful and more interesting maybe for vocabulary learning. But basically the presentation works in the same way. Here you can also have photos, and so you can do a lot of them. You can go back as many times as you want. For example, you see this word, you see the meaning, you see the photo, and this tool also has a lot of other features like ways for them to learn, to write, to spell. So these are very different. They have to choose, and so they can practice in many different ways. Okay.
Is a tool of the platform, Vicky, Quizlet?
No, this is not a tool of the platform, but the platform allows me also to create my own content and to include it by incorporating the link. So this is also very useful because this means that the platform has a lot of tools, but also allows you to use your own tools, which is important because there are so many tools nowadays, and they are useful. Okay, so that's all I want to show you here. Now I want to show you how you can add tools. You have this edit on button up here, and by clicking on it, now it is on. So I can edit practically anything. I can edit the title, I can edit the content, I can edit the tools that I want. I can add or remove tools, maybe I don't want them anymore. Every time I want to add something, I have this button here, which opened after I clicked on edit. So here it says add an activity or resource. If I click on this, I am given an array of tools that are included in the platform. So the knock plop or the multi-party meeting we'll see it earlier. It's the same thing basically. So it's the meeting room I showed you. The H5P interactive content. If I click on it, then automatically it presents information about how this can be used. And by adding, it means that I can add a new activity. So by adding, actually, I have access to a lot of the activities I showed you earlier and many more. And every time I can have the description of the tool here, so I can choose the one I want. For knock plop, it says that it's the interactive part. Assignment, it's like I told you earlier that they can save the Word document, and then if I do it as an assignment, they can upload it there. The chat, where they can talk anytime they want to discuss something. There are other features as well, many of them. If I just want to mention the ones I have used in this course, the forum I told you, you can create a glossary as a language teacher here. I showed you the multi-party meeting, that was again the virtual room. There can be a questionnaire, a quiz. The cell count lectures is the synchronized lectures with video that we showed in the first course. There is a survey tool, of course, wiki and so on. And also when it says resources, it means that you can add a book, a file, folder. You can simply add a URL like the ones I did with the video. All the videos are included with URLs and so on. So by clicking on add, you can add anything you want. But first, of course, as I said, you can see information about what this is. Okay, so now I'm going to cancel. And as I said, I can practically click on anything and edit this anytime I want. And also if I have hidden activities, like this is hidden from students, as I showed you earlier, by editing it, I can reveal it to students. And that's all. And then I have to remember to go back and switch to normal mode so that I don't lose anything. And that's all that I have to show you about this.
We convinced
Let me stop my
all of you
sharing. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed and at least you understood how this goes and how you can create content on the Up2u platform.
And I hope that we convinced Vicky, all the participants of the Up2u project.
Well, the more you can use it, the more you use it, actually, the easier it becomes. So the first time it may seem a little bit complicated because it includes so many tools, but then second time it's automatically much faster and easier, as I said.
Okay. Thank you very much for listening us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to us.
Hope you enjoyed our presentation. Bye-bye from Athens, Greece.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye from all of us.